Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion. Thus we must strive to return it, even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers. Thus we must endeavor to repay it, even to our bones becoming dust. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Good morning, everyone. Aloha kako. Thank you for watching the YouTube channel of Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii. Nice to meet you. I am Reverend Masanari Yamagishi. I transferred from mainland to Hawaii last February. I am under the orientation program at Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii headquarters and undergoing the training program at Honpa Hongwanji Hawaii Betsin until the end of July. I am from Toyama Prefecture. I was born into a temple family as the third son. I received Tokudo ordination at the age of 18. After I graduated from Ryukoku University, I worked as an office worker in a company in Toyama. However, after experiencing the loss of my parents and the sudden passing of disaster victims by the huge earthquake, it changed my mind and led me to a period of trying to find myself and to understand what was happening in my life. It was at that point that I returned to a life of studying and I decided to become a minister. This is my introduction about myself. So, my Japanese friends sent a video taken during a service in Japan a few weeks ago. Many priests were gathered and chanting the sutra excellently in the video. I was moved by the beautiful melody of the chanting and felt good. The chanting was the same as our daily one. Often sutra chanting is done by many priests, about 10 or 20 in Japan. When we do the sutra chanting, we always read aloud with the service book. The service book consists of many sutras for chanting. As you know, sutras are written by Chinese character. It is difficult for not only beginner but us to understand the meaning of each sentence, even for Japanese people. If we tried to understand the sutra completely, we would need a lot of time for it. We are often tired to finish the sutra chanting, especially if it's so long and unfamiliar to us. In Japan, we Buddhist priests must sit down on seiza during the sutra chanting. Do you know seiza? Seiza is Japanese traditional sitting posture. We get down on the knees and sit on the heels on the mat. Seiza is really so painful. When we sit too long in seiza, our legs hurt. We are never allowed to not sit seiza during the sutra chanting. We can't always feel our feet after finishing the chanting. I can't stand up for a while after the seiza. Why do you think we must sit seiza during the sutra chanting? What is the meaning of the Sutra Chanting originally? What is the purpose of the service book? Reverend Kenryu Tsuji Sensei tells us about the chanting in his book, the following. Chanting is a discipline and a meditation. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha's disciples chanted in unison the lessons they had learned from their master. Throughout the year, this tradition has been handed down from one generation to another in all the Buddhist countries. Thus, in quiet contemplation, we come to the heart of the Buddha Dharma. Let me show you several major sutras from our daily chanting. Our most familiar sutra is Jusei-ge. Jusei-ge means the 3 sacred vows in Japanese. These vows were made by Amida while he was still a bodhisattva. They express the deep compassion of Amida for all. Junirai. Junirai means the 12 hymns of worship in Japanese. It praises Amida Buddha and the parent. Shoshingen. Shoshingen is written by our founder Shinna Shonin. It means the hymn of true faith in Japanese. Shinna Shonin praises Amida Buddha and the 7 masters who showed us the way of saving faithfully by Amida Buddha. Epistle. Epistle are letters written by Renya Shonin to the followers. These letters were written for various occasions, such as to inspire those who lost a loved one, or as instruction to priests. These letters always lead us to faith in Amida Buddha and to recite the Nembutsu with a grateful heart. We are able to read aloud so many kinds of sutra in this book, a service book. As I said, almost all sutra were written in Chinese character, and it is difficult to understand completely. This service book consists of the sutra of Shakyamuni Buddha, the teaching of Shinna Shonin, and Renya Shonin. So you can see their pictures in the altar of the church. Amida Buddha is the center of the altar. Shinna Shonin is on your right side toward the altar, and Renya Shonin is on your left side toward the altar. Everything in common in their sutra is the same thing. This service book is the right collected sutra for us to encounter the teaching of Amida Buddha. This service book is thoroughly the teaching of Amida Buddha, the words of Shakyamuni Buddha, the writing of Shinna Shonin, and the letter from Renya Shonin, and etc. To say it simply, the service book is Buddha and Dharma for us. Buddha and Dharma are within this service book. Therefore, when we use the service book, we must pay attention to obey the politeness. When we begin the sutra chanting, we raise the service book to our head and then open it. In the same way, when we finish the sutra chanting, we close the service book and raise it to our head again and put it on the table. The reason why we must obey this politeness is that the service book is Buddha and Dharma, teaching through generation to generation for over 2,500 years. We should know this truth at first. It's better to study and understand the meaning of the sutra later, if you like. The most important thing is to realize that all the sutra of the service book tells us the real and truth of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. Here is one story of Myeongkomi Shoma. Shoma was a lay follower long time ago in Japan. He was born in a poor family home. He was unable to be educated from childhood because of his poverty. And he couldn't read or write any letters even after becoming an adult. However, he deeply understood only the teaching of the Nembutsu. People respectfully called him Myeongkomi Shoma. Shoma was trusted from other lay followers. Some high-positioned monk recognized Shoma's passion and knowledge of Nembutsu. Even if the other was a monk, Shoma proudly gave him his own opinion to them if they said something wrong. So some monks were sometimes jealous of him. One day, there was a gathering of lay followers to attend the service at the temple. Shoma attended the service and sat in the front row. One monk came to Shoma and asked him, "Hey Shoma, you understand well the teaching of Nembutsu, right? Here is the service book. Read aloud this sutra and explain the meaning to everyone." The monk surely knew that Shoma didn't know how to write and read any letters. So he was planning to shame him in front of everyone. The monk deliberately asked Shoma to do that. All lay followers watched over them with their worries. However, Shoma said clearly, "I got it. I'll do it." Shoma agreed well, and the chanting has started. Shoma clearly and loudly read aloud the service book. "Shoma, I save you. Shoma, I save you." That was it on his chanting. After he finished the chanting, Shoma said to the monk, "I can't read any letters in this book. However, all sutras are written only about Amida Buddha's heart and mind to absolutely save us. Therefore, I read aloud so." The monk was moved by Shoma's word and apologized to him, saying, "I'm sorry, Shoma. You are right. All sutras are just only for us to realize Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion." I think we are able to learn the most important thing from this story. Although we don't understand the meaning of all the sutra, Amida Buddha never abandons us and absolutely embraces all us. The reason why we read aloud the sutra is not only for understanding the meaning, but for receiving Amida Buddha's heart and mind and express our gratitude too. Our founder of Shin Buddhism, Shinra Shonin, tells us that the following: "Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion, that we must strive to return it, even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachers, that we must endeavor to repay it, even to our bones becoming dust." Amida's compassion is to save all people absolutely and to bring them to the Pure Land. Shakyamuni Buddha, the seven masters, Shinran Shonin, and many other people who have been born in the Pure Land are teaching the truth of compassion to us. We don't know how to express our gratitude to them. We can't thank them enough. This is the meaning of the expression, even to the breaking of our bodies, and even to our bones becoming dust. As I introduced Reverend Kenryu Tsuji Sensei's teaching earlier, chanting is a discipline and a meditation. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha's disciples chanted in unison the lessons they had learned from their master. Throughout the year, this tradition has been handed down from one generation to another in all the Buddhist countries. Thus, in quiet contemplation, we come to the heart of the Buddha Dharma. The service book is Buddha and Dharma. The meaning of the Sutra Chanting is to receive Amida Buddha's heart and mind and express our gratitude to Amida Buddha, the seven masters, Shinran Shonin, Rengyo Shonin, and many other our loved ones. Reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in the same way. We are thankful with Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion with reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening to my Dharma talk. Let's conclude with the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Please put your palms together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you. Mahalo.